WOCA. Ocala. All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Beautiful looking Friday morning, and that music means that Bob Kennedy is somewhere in the area. We're going to change that music soon. We were going to change it by today, but I dropped the ball. Bob is from Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty, and we're going to learn about real estate. And, of course, if you have any questions, you're welcome and invited to call. The number is 622-9622. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Great. Good morning to everyone.
Dude, we were talking this morning about years ago, there was a bumper sticker campaign, and it said, get a lot while you're young. And it was a campaign to sell lots. You don't hear about people buying lots a whole lot anymore.
Well, people have gotten smarter.
Is that right? It's smart to buy a house instead of just a lot?
The program you're probably talking about was probably where, like, General Development down in the shores would sell lots to people, usually from out of state, with the idea that at some point in time you're going to come to Florida and build a house. Historically, buying a vacant building lot is a bad investment.
Really?
Yeah. We get calls every day, not every day, but every week. I'm sure every company in town does.
Right.
Somebody's got a vacant lot somewhere in the county that they inherited. Their parents bought it 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago. They've been paying taxes on it. They're never going to come down and build. And when you tell them it's worth $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, they're shocked. During the boom, those things shot up because the people were trading it like a commodity. But single-family vacant lots, all in all, are not the way to go.
Not the way to go. So I'm going to make a comparison between what you do and what we know, the music stuff, because there's always been musicians, but when there's a popular, somebody like when the Beatles came out or Elvis, or all of a sudden everybody buys a guitar, all right? And so when you hear about real estate moguls like Donald Trump, all of a sudden everybody wants to be a real estate mogul, right? Everybody wants to do this. And there was those late night shows on how to do it, how to flip homes. Remember them?
Yeah, actually one guy just got indicted. They can't find him because he embezzled so much money off of one of those shows.
But I mean, there's always been the real estate guys.
Well, because it's like anything else. There's the people that really know the business. And then when it gets hot, it's like anything else. Everybody wants to jump in.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of people do well, and a lot of people don't do well. You have to. It's real estate investing. I always tell people is a great business. It's not for the faint of heart, and it's like any other business that you go into. It takes a lot of work. If you're going to make it in music, you're going to play in a lot of bad clubs. And,
That's right.
You don't show up on American Idol too often, never having been on a stage.
There should be a real estate idol. This should be one of them. Real estate agent idol.
Well, I think they have them on like Bravo TV when you look at.
Oh, really?
These guys selling stuff in Manhattan and the West Coast.
So let's look at this. So now we all Donald Trump's in the news every single minute, and so when you look at articles, there was one article that came across Donald Trump by the numbers. We were looking at it, and I think it said that he owns 125,000 apartments. I might have the number wrong, but the point is he owns a lot of apartments and gets rent from everyone that's occupied.
Sure.
So the average person says, I can be a small-time Donald Trump, just like somebody says I can be a small-time Beatles, right?
And, I don't want to dissuade anybody. You can. I mean, we have people with our property management company, we have multiple people that have portfolios worth over $1 million.
Really?
That are just single-family homes here in Marion County.
Do you know there's a guy here at the mall? He's a security guard. He's been a security guard here for 20 years. And I recognized him from years ago when I worked with him at the Ocala Star-Banner. And so we have a mutual friend, and he said, hey, didn't you used to own some of this land? So he owned at one time, he bought investment properties like across the street with the colleges, et cetera.
Sure.
Long story short, I have no idea what his personal financial situation is, but he's doing the security guard just to have something to do. In other words, he still makes money from that real estate that he invested in.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's the way you want to do it.
Are you a landlord?
Yes, but I don't own vacant land. I'm not a developer. I don't have an eye for that. Developing is a whole different thing than investing.
So you're a mini Donald Trump.
No, I'm not.
But you have.
I looked at my bank account. I'm not.
All right, but could somebody? So how would somebody do this unless they were a real estate agent? If you wanted to invest in real estate, would you just? Could I do it, or I would need your help?
What I would recommend is don't go to the seminars that tell you how to get rich, because that doesn't usually work, and nobody's giving you something for nothing. But there is a definite way to approach it. You don't have to be a real estate agent to own real estate. What you probably, people that are investors are usually, just people that say, hey, I want to, instead of building or in addition to building a stock portfolio, they decide to focus their resources on real estate. And even to the point where some people take their 401 retirements, and you can use that 401 and invest in real estate instead of equities.
And then are you risking your 401? Does it, if it makes money, then you're okay. But what if it doesn't? Does it usually always make money?
Well, it depends on how well you manage your real estate. I would say for most people that are investors in real estate, they have property managers. That's what we have a division that handles property management, where let's say you own 10 houses, you don't want to spend your time hiring people to do all the upkeep, looking for tenants, screening the tenants, collecting the rent, paying the bills. You hire somebody to do that. Now, some people, that is their business, and that they want to handle their own stuff, and that's great.
So is there a formula? How do you, if I own a place and I have a property manager, I have to pay the property manager. So is there a formula to know how much to charge for rent so that you can also cover the cost of the property manager and the repairs that'll come into play? Yeah,
what you do is just like any other investment, you lay it out, you put together a pro forma that'll show you what your investment is, what your exposure is, and what your return is. Like if you're gonna invest in real estate, you're going to want a substantially better return on your money than you would have if you put it in the bank, because your capital's at risk and it's also working. Right. So you have things like depreciation that goes with owning property. You have the appreciation that goes with owning property. You have to deal with the physical aspect of a property. It's not a stock, that you can turn around and get rid of in one day if you want to get rid of it. So those things all have to be taken into account.
And typically, are people too anxious to bite off more than they can chew? Do you find that a lot? Like a newbie, somebody who's brand new at it?
It just depends. Some people are really cautious. Some people are over the top. If we're advising somebody, what I always try and do with people is, here's your options. Here's the way the numbers work. Now, you make the decision. Do you want to do this?
So let's play act a little bit. I come into your office. I sit across the desk. I say, hey, I got a 401 lump sum of money. I'd like to do this. I heard you on the radio talking about this.
Sure.
I want to be what do you call yourself? A property investor?
Would you say a mini Donald Trump?
A mini Donald Trump. I want to be a mini Donald Trump. I want to be mini Trump. All right. So, what would you do? Would you show me some property and would I look at it in the same way as if I was buying a house for myself?
No, you would look at it. You would have to do a little bit of homework. And we could do that together. You do it on your own and figure out what do you want to accomplish with your investment, just like you're going to sit down with an investment advisor on your 401. How much risk can you take? Can you stand to take? What are you looking for long term? There's a lot of the thing about switching real estate into a 401 is that there's a lot of tax advantages, just like you have tax advantages on the gains that you make on your stocks and bonds. Okay. So all that goes into it. And then you break out what your returns are going to be, what your investment's going to be. I mean, there's you usually want to buy something. Either you're buying cash flow, or you're looking to make an investment to create the sweat equity part of it, that the return's going to be a little bit better on your money.
And that sweat equity is really, really important too.
Well, sure. That's what you're looking to build long term. I mean, as you pay the rent, the mortgage goes down, and then over time the income goes up.
Right.
We've taken a little break, and we'll be right back. If you have a question for Bob Kennedy during the at any point, just call 622-9622. You can call right now. You'll be on hold for about a minute and a half. We'll be right back.
At Ameris Bank, we understand that there is no purchase more exciting than the purchase of a new home. We are dedicated to helping you find the mortgage that meets your needs and giving you the personal attention you deserve. Our mortgage options offer a variety of benefits, including up to 100% financing, down payment assistance, and expansive credit qualifications, all with the competitive rates and exceptional service. Call Ameris Bank today or visit amerisbank.com to learn more. We look forward to serving you.
Ameris Bank is an equal housing lender and member of FDIC, a loan subject to credit approval.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
Hey, this is Dan. Let me ask you a few questions. Does your boat look better with the cover on? Has your car's interior seen its better days? Stop using a towel to cover up those rips in the golf cart. Isn't it about time you had it restored to better than new with a custom upholstery from Captain T? Captain T's Upholstery has been right here in Ocala for nearly 20 years, so they know how to make your ride one of a kind. Whether you want to take that classic ride back to a factory look or put your favorite sports team front and center, Captain T's Upholstery is who to call. 352-369-1810. That's 352-369-1810. Or stop by their location, 5030 South Pine Avenue in Ocala, just past the drive-in. And of course, don't forget to visit them on the web, CaptainTUpholstery.com.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor. Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
You're listening to WOCA, Ocala.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Bob Kennedy is in the studio from Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty. We're talking about real estate investing, using your 401k to invest in property. The importance of building a portfolio you brought up, as well as property management, which is, to me, that's the weight off your shoulders, the property management. If I was going to own property that I was having tenants, because I could never kick somebody out, I would have a hard time. I could never say, let me in, I want to check the faucets, make sure they're not leaking. I would say, you're fine, right?
Yeah, everything good?
Yeah.
Everything good?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you don't have the money this month? All right. Well, let's
exactly.
wait till
That
next
would be
month.
me. That would be me. Yeah.
And that's landlording is it's like most things. It's a lot more difficult in reality than it looks like on paper.
So do the property managers literally have inspections like every month or something? Just walk through?
No. Everybody does a little bit different, but every year they're going to be able to go in and inspect. And usually in our leases, it gives the property managers the right to inspect with a notice. So if we think that something's going on, if we start seeing, if our lease says no more than 3 people can occupy the house, and we get reports that there's 17 cars parked out there every night, we'll probably check up and see that.
Does that happen?
Everything happens. you know, make up a scenario, and it's happened.
Really?
Sure.
You have to do, even though you've got a recognizable name for your company, Berkshire Hathaway, and you're out there in the public eye, you still have to keep going in the public eye. You just can't sit in your office every day and think that people are going to come to you in droves. You have to make sure you're.
Is that the case? Oh man!
That wasn't a question, was it?
Well, you're
Yes,
a real
yes.
go-getter. That's why you do what you do in the community.
Yes, it is. And the things that you do out there are just because you like to do them. You know, I don't think that you want to go to a fundraiser thinking that's going to help your business. Maybe some people do. I don't know, but
Yeah, but you don't. You're
no.
very genuine when you support causes and things, and your name just happens to.
Well, yeah,
follow
we try to, and there's you know, one thing about Ocala in general. I mean, I was at a luncheon yesterday for Pace Girls Center.
Pace Center for
Oh
Girls,
my
yeah.
gosh, it was such a tremendous organization, and what an amazing turnout they had. So yeah, there's a lot of good things, but the business itself, yes, it's I say real estate's a contact sport. You know, you have to be out talking to people, getting to know people, getting to understand the neighborhoods. That's
Right.
what our business is.
Right. Bob, we have a phone call. If you'll put your headset on, you'll be able to hear the caller. Just be sure you can hear me first.
I can.
Good morning. You're on there with Bob Kennedy.
Yes, good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Have you ever heard of a deal with a realty company stating that we'll take your property on a long-term a deal, and if we don't sell your property, we will buy it for what you were asking?
I've heard about it a lot. I've never heard them say what you're asking. Nobody's going to pay you what you're asking when it comes to those things. Read the fine print. You know, years ago there was a franchise that offered that and built a big business. But if an individual agent is offering to do that, I'd say check their bank account, because there's not that many real estate agents that can afford to go around buying people's houses that don't sell.
If you would find somebody that would agree to that, would you, on a contract, state that what the price would be that they would buy it at?
Oh, I'm sure they're going to have all kinds of fine print for you.
Yeah. It sounds to me, if you got a piece of property that you've had for quite a while and you just can't get rid of it, and you've been lowering your price, if you tie up with a situation like that is guaranteeing you a sale eventually, it might be the route to go.
Could be. It could be. You got to see what's in the best interest of the property owner.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you for the call.
And the phone lines are open. If anybody else wants to call, you're welcome to do that. The number is 622-9622. If listening to Bob talk about using your 401k as an investment in real estate, and you have questions about that, it sounds very attractive, actually. It's very tempting to want to do this. It seems like a good way to supplement your retirement income.
Some people like it. You know, it's not. I mean, you have to set it up separately. I mean, there's, you know, you got to talk to your financial advisor and all that. There's ways to do it, but yeah, it's in a world of 2% and 3% returns, people are looking for a better way to build a retirement, build wealth for the future for their kids, and there are certainly ways to do that through real estate.
But when people do real estate like you do, you have to take classes and do those state boards and everything?
That's only if you're licensed to sell real estate.
Oh.
But to own real estate, there's no...
You just have to buy it.
You just have to buy it. There's nothing... There's no prerequisites.
It's like the game of Monopoly, right? The more property you own, the more likely you'll win the game.
Yeah, as long as the mortgages don't come due and you have good tenants.
And there's also housing structures, because when we go to Cedar Key, most of the businesses and houses there are up on stilts, but then you come inland and they're, ground to ground. How do you assess property value like that?
One thing about investors in real estate, pretty much everybody has their own niche. Some people only want fixer-uppers. Some people only want pristine property. Some people only want multifamily. Some people only involve themselves with commercial. So it's kind of like some people only want to buy something to flip it. They don't want to be a landlord. What they want to do is buy it, fix it, sell it. So there's all different types of, it just is kind of where do you fit in? Not too many people do everything.
Did you ever hear, and we were talking about Donald Trump, the predecessor to Donald Trump, at least in New York, was David Rockefeller. I mean, he was the guy with the money in New York building the buildings.
Yeah.
And did you ever hear that Rockefeller Center has on the property an Irish pub that was there like in the 1800s, that the owners are still there. They refused to sell it. So they literally built the Rockefeller Plaza Center, whatever you call the whole structure, around it.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's great. They bought the air rights, and they probably bought everything around
whatever
them.
they did, yeah.
And probably, bought the air rights from the owners of the pub, and they probably worked out a deal that made everybody very happy.
Yeah, can you imagine though? One day I'll have to...
But you don't see that in too many other places except New York, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a church in the city somewhere that has the same thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and there's all kinds of stories of the last holdout getting a boatload of money.
The Citicorp building. Have you ever seen the footing on the Citicorp building?
No.
Oh my gosh, Bob, you got to look at this. Okay, this is a huge building, and it's got four pedestals on the bottom holding it up, but they're not on the corners. They're in the middle because there's a Lutheran church, I think.
Yes.
On the ground that said, no, we're not selling. Yeah. So they said, okay, no problem. We'll just build above you. and they literally have one of the upper floors, this big, huge concrete pendulum that shifts its weight to counter the effects of wind.
Oh, wow.
Now, don't tell any terrorists about this, because that looks like an easy target to me. You know which one I mean, the building with the angle on it.
With the angle, yeah. Well, just imagine how smart that architect was to figure that out, how to do that.
Yeah.
That's way beyond me.
Has it gotten to that point yet where, because of all of the terrorist happenings all over the world and things, that when people are going to buy large apartment buildings and stuff, that there are a lot of background checks that have to go on?
That is a really, really interesting question, because the fact is, ever since 9/11, there's in all real estate contracts, there's things about the Patriot Act, about foreign national. There's holding money requirements. There's yes. The answer is there's a lot of checking that goes on now.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So could we? I know normally we ask you to spotlight a house. Do you have any investment properties we can spotlight?
Oh, now I knew you'd see that. I put my foot in my mouth.
I threw you a curve.
No, the last one that we had, that I'm aware of, that we had just sold. It was an 8-unit one. That's a nice little investment that we did, but no, nothing jumps to mind.
Well, how about a house?
Let's see. We got a new one coming available over in Kingsland Country, which is over by Hammett Bowen School. It's a little 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a pool. Not a lot of houses with a pool over in those areas. They're newer homes. A lot of them just didn't have pools put in, and that's going to be about, I think it's coming on at $229.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Patsy wants a pool.
What is your phone number?
622-9700.
It goes too fast. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
You got me wanting to be. I think I'll be a terrible landlord. I don't think I should do this.
That's why you'll hire a property manager.
Thank you, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.